When the Arellano Felix cartel in Mexico lost its power and influence in the early 2000s, the Mexicans were relieved a big deal from the gruesome acts of this cartel. But little did they know that a new cartel was being formed and would later become the most dangerous and powerful cartel of our time. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel, also known as CJNG, has been terrorizing the streets of Mexico and beyond the borders for over a decade now. And there is no denying CJNG is much more brutal than their rival, the Sinaloa Cartel, or let's just say more dangerous than the Pablo Escobar empire. They not only kill, but they dismember the bodies of their victims and even use explosives to attack. They have been linked to drug, weapon, and human trafficking. Enough to tell you this cartel is far more daring. As if this is not enough, the CJNG cartel is already destroying all its rival cartels unapologetically. They now have a group of evil clowns who take the lives of rival cartel members and film the entire cruelty. Things are getting out of hand, and this impunity is happening right in the 21st century, posing a major threat to U.S. national security. Is CJNG the next terrorist group in Mexico? Join me as I unravel the heinous crimes of CJNG's most trusted captain, Fabian Urbino Morales, and his daring clown army. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification button to never miss out on our latest videos. This disturbing story begins with a man known as Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, also known as El Mencho, the drug lord who established the Jalisco New Generation Cartel in 2010. But how did a man born in a poor avocado farming family on the outskirts of the city grow up to become a leader of a powerful cartel? Born in July 1966 in Mexico, El Mencho was stubborn from a young age. He illegally migrated to the United States and settled in San Francisco in the 1980s. But he began engaging in petty crimes to earn a living and was eventually deported back to Mexico. With hands-on experience in criminal activities, you'd definitely expect El Mencho wasn't going to reform either. And true to that, he went on to join the Milenio Cartel, where he gained more experience in how a cartel operates. With time, the Milenio Cartel disintegrated into small factions, losing its power and influence. Now, in 2009, El Mencho established his own cartel with the original name of Los Torcidos, but would later change the name to Jalisco New Generation Cartel, aka CJNG. Inspired by the Los Zetas cartel's military structure, the CJNG quickly rose to become one of the most powerful and violent cartels in Mexico, spreading pain and suffering to residents. This cartel took everything to a whole new level, establishing a powerful armory with dangerous rifles, grenades, and even owned army tanks. It thus comes with no surprise that the CJNG came to be known for its brutal tactics, including beheadings, dismemberments, and the use of explosives. The cartel grew to a level that even the government of the day could not stop it, thanks to their widespread corruption and the influence they hold over local and state governments. Its influence extends even across borders. The cartel prides itself on powerful weapons and organized troops. At one point, footage of the CJNG convoy went viral, showing a group of elite gunmen who pledges allegiance to El Mencho. They looked ready to attack, armed with powerful .50 caliber sniper rifles and grenade launchers. With these powerful weapons, you can tell the CJNG is not scared of anyone. They ruthlessly take down anyone who tries to stand in their way of making money, be it the police or even rival cartel members. Honestly, the CJNG doesn't have any regard for life. But how did El Mencho's cartel become this powerful? Well, despite instituting a strong, well-organized military structure and equipping his armory with the most powerful weapons, El Mencho is also careful to recruit only the worst criminals in Mexico with a background in the cartel world. And so when he was looking to recruit new members to his CJNG cartel, he came across Fabian Urbino Morales, also known as El Payaso, which means the clown in Spanish. And you know what? El Mencho just fell in love with this guy's experience, especially how his gang gruesomely executed their rivals in broad daylight. El Payaso, who worked as a clown while he was young, was a former member of the Los Metros cartel, which was a smaller faction of the Gulf cartel that operated in Reynosa at the border of Texas. And probably El Payaso was influenced into criminal activities by his brother nicknamed El Jaguar, a former military man and former CJNG Delta Group member. So, even before El Payaso joined CJNG, his brother was already working there. Now, at the Los Metros cartel, Fabian climbed the ranks, introducing a new level of violence to the gang. He established a group of henchmen who would wear the same horrible clown mask and execute their gruesome crimes without fear or favor. And El Payaso's gang not only targeted ordinary people, but also aimed for their rival cartel members and painfully executed them. It's this courage expressed by El Payaso and his gang that El Mencho chose to settle on him and made him the captain of the CJNG cartel. Under the captainship of El Payaso, CJNG eventually became the second largest cartel in Mexico, and as the group grew larger, El Mencho knew pretty well that he needed other people to help him run his cartel successfully, and so he went ahead and struck a deal with other smaller cartel bosses to act as his managers in areas where CJNG operated. Eventually, the CJNG brought on board the whole Los Metros cartel members. At this moment, El Payaso became the most trusted captain of El Mencho. In fact, El Mencho instructed El Payaso and his gang to continue wearing the horrifying masks. And so El Payaso was not just a regular hitman for the CJNG, but a powerful leader of the CJNG cartel. He would dress up in a clown suit and makeup while carrying out his killings along with his gang. For the period El Payaso served as the captain of CJNG, he worked together with his henchmen to commit horrible crimes against rival cartel groups while filming everything and still laughed at the whole gruesome acts. After that, they'd post the videos online as a warning to the CJNG's enemies and anyone else who dared the group. It's hard to understand why someone would gather the courage to do such acts to fellow human beings, but because they wanted to spread fear across the country and be recognized as the most brutal and powerful cartel, they had to do it anyway. To them, violence was a means to an end. And probably one thing is for sure, all these heinous crimes points to their terrible upbringing. It seems El Payaso and his henchmen underwent a very painful childhood, because I can't understand how they turned into such psychopathic monsters, killing for pleasure. No, that's inhumane, and not even animals do this, save for food. Now you're probably asking how the authorities allowed all these crimes to be committed in broad daylight with no arrests, right? Well, as I mentioned earlier, the CJNG cartel proved more powerful and influential. It's no wonder they committed a lot of impunity with no arrests being made. Luckily, El Payaso was finally arrested in 2020, following the October 2019 police attack orchestrated by the CJNG cartel, where a total of 13 officers were killed. El Payaso was arrested along with some of his clown henchmen in the January 2020 police operation and charged with organized crime and drug trafficking. Indeed, the story of Fabian is a chilling reminder of the violence and brutality that exists in Mexico's drug cartel world. And even though the arrests tried to destabilize the CJNG cartel to some extent, the cartel continues to operate with impunity, and innocent people continue to find themselves in the crossfire with this clown gang that El Payaso had already trained and influenced. In fact, the CJNG cartel is linked to the largest portion of drugs entering Mexico both by sea and air, enough to tell you just how powerful the group is. So you can tell the war between the authorities and the CJNG is getting even worse, and soon we may wake up to the news of CJNG being named a terrorist group. But with the arrest of El Payaso and a few of his henchmen, you can tell the authorities are concerned and will eventually overpower the CJNG cartel. So, there you have it, guys. Do you think El Payaso would ever get parole or say escape prison after all the gruesome acts he committed? Let's know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more amazing videos like this. Thanks for watching.